You lead with the job, the career, the finances, the degree, the gym, because that's what works everywhere else. But on the apps, it sabotages you. It's the reason why you can't have success the way you do in every other area of your life. Why is that? Well, quite simply, gentlemen, you're selling yourself to a customer who already decided to buy what you have to offer. She matched with you. She already swiped right. But then you text like you're still auditioning for a job. You text like you're applying and handing in your resume. And nothing could be less high value, quote unquote, than that behavior over text. And it's the difference. This is what is sabotaging you, because she sees that you're successful in every other area of your life. She can tell by your profile. Or if you met her in person, which I do recommend, she can tell that, you know, you're a good guy, with a good head on his shoulders. But then over text, I mean, you're just sabotaging yourself. There's no other way to say it. And so I want to talk about why that is in this video, and how with the Guy app, you can slowly rework your entire texting philosophy to change this for the better. But first we need to talk about a couple key instincts. And guys, if you're new here for the first time, subscribe to the channel and go back and watch these videos, because we are breaking down what we call the signal inversion theory, the hypothesis, if you will, that everything that has made you successful in your career, all the conscientiousness, the hard work, the motivation, the drive, the ambition, all of these traits, while they work in literally every other area of your life, it's what sabotages you on the dating apps. It's why the neurosurgeons are getting ghosted, and why the hipster skater doofus is cleaning up on the apps. Because one guy texts like he's high value, but isn't in person, and then the other guy texts like the most low value version of himself, yet in real life, he's a total catch. It is the digital medium that completely distorts the signal. And if you're watching this video, you're probably resonating with this message, and you've probably seen it yourself. And one of the main reasons why we wanted to start the Guy app was because we were seeing successful, attractive men fall down this rabbit hole where they were successful in every other area of their life, yet they couldn't have success on the online dating landscape to save their life, which, you know, for all intents and purposes, unless you're going to be going out and cold approaching like yours truly, the online dating landscape is the dating landscape in America in 2026, right? So, and I don't see that changing anytime soon, for better or for worse. So, what we saw happening was that we saw guys, because of their lack of success in this one area, dating, going in two different directions that are just going to lead to a total dead end. They were either going to go totally blue pill, be super nice, super friendly, put her on a pedestal, which is a one-way ticket to the friend zone. No sexual attraction, no spark can be developed from there, and is ultimately just going to end up leading them to be a resentful nice guy who's not very nice, as we've covered in this channel. Or they were going to go totally red pill, sexist, say dating's broken, check out of the dating market, think that all women are just, you know, insert horrible adjective, if you will. But the Guy is totally different. The Guy is the green pill. The Guy is the third way. It's not red pill, it's not blue pill, it's its own unique philosophy, but that can only be discovered, if you will, once you understand the signal inversion theory. So I want to give you a couple examples right now, because this will really illustrate what I'm talking about. But first, you must understand this one very important equation, which is that high value plus bum behavior equals mystery. Now let me say this again, because this puts the Fibonacci sequence, this puts Einstein and his E equals MC squared to shame, because this is quite honestly a more important discovery for mankind, which we fell totally ass backwards into as we developed the Guy app. High value plus bum behavior equals mystery. And what that means, gentlemen, is if you are a high value dude, you dress well, you have a good social life, your finances are locked in, but you text like you're a total train wreck, a total disaster, which I'll show you some examples for in a second, you will see your success skyrocket, because then she can't figure you out. And what you have to understand, I can already hear the objections in the comments about how that's not going to work, that's just going to sabotage yourself. Now, number one, don't even believe me. Believe yourself. Check it out for yourself. Check out the Guy, link in the description. next time you have a match, run it by what you were gonna say, get an analysis of why that won't work, and then get 3 custom tailored recommendations from the guy, pick one, send it, and you'll see for yourself how this works in real life. But guys, what you have to understand is that when you text like a disaster, when you text like you don't care, when you are not afraid to make an absurd, ridiculous joke, that is high value behavior over the text medium. Because only a guy who's truly confident in himself would ever dare to say something so ridiculous over text. Only a guy who has got every other area of his life locked down would ever say something so ridiculous. And at the other end of the spectrum, it just comes across as a guy who knows how to flirt over text, who's funny, who's not taking it too seriously, and this is all very attractive on the dating apps. That's what you have to understand. Now let me give you an example, because I'm not a big fan of theory. I want you guys to see this in practice. So before and after. So right now, you're probably sending something like, you know, she asks, what do you do for work? Boring question. I would never ask a woman, or really, I don't really ask anyone, quite frankly, what they do for work. I don't think it's a good social move, but say that happens. They ask you, what do you do for work? Your response probably right now is something like, I'm a software engineer. Been doing it about 6 years now. Pays the bills, ha ha ha. What about you? Terrible. What kind of response do you think that's gonna get, guys? Not a good one. Now, if you were to run that response through the Guy app right before you send that, here's what the guy would say. You ready? Take notes, gentlemen. That's a LinkedIn profile, not a text. The pays the bills, ha ha, plus a reciprocal question makes it sound like every other guy filling out the same form. She didn't ask to interview you. She's poking to see if you're fun. Don't hand her a resume. Exactly. So, the guy continues. She asked a normal question. You answer with confusion that you're even employed. Don't deflect cleverly, just be a disaster about it. Here are 3 options. 1, they keep paying me and I keep showing up and nobody stopped it yet. 2, I sit at a computer and move things until a man says good and then I go home. Or 3, honestly, not sure. I press buttons and money appears and I've decided not to ask questions. And then the guy says, I'd go with 2. It's flat, it's confused, and it makes software engineers sound like a hostage situation instead of a flex. She wanted your resume and got a man describing his own life like he doesn't even understand it. Send it. Guys, that is how you text on the apps. How is she not going to respond to that? And that's the thing, guys, is that when you text like that, it flips the entire dynamic, where she's going to start the mystery and the intrigue you've created, along with demonstrating that you're not taking things too seriously, that you're just here to have fun and see where things go, you have no agenda. That is going to flip the script, where she's the one asking you questions. She's the one pursuing you, and that's where you want to be. And ultimately there, when you stop trying to control things that can't be controlled, that's when you will get the results you are after. I believe Socrates said that. So hopefully that makes some sense to you guys. What you have to understand is that you are weaponizing incompetence. And what you also have to understand is that this is how the guy who has nothing going for him in real life, no style, no culture, terrible grooming, this is why this guy is getting results on the apps. And meanwhile, you with your, finance background can't get a date. This is why. This is the difference. And so this is how you must text. And really, at the end of the day, guys, it's just how you flirt over text communication. Men were in this boring, logical LinkedIn DM mode. That is not how you should be texting on Hinge or Bumble or, God forbid, Tinder, right? So, guys, the guy will stop you from selling to a customer who's already decided to buy what you sell, all right? That's what you have to understand. And so if you've been struggling with the text game, because guys, I know I was. I guarantee you, because I was out cold approaching. I was out regularly meeting women in person, having very good results, I would say. 70 to 80% of the time, it was a positive interaction. But over text, I would shoot myself in the foot. It got so bad to the point where I would get a girl's number, and even if it was a great interaction, I'd be like, you know what? She's not going to respond. So And then now it's a totally different sea change. Now after we've developed the guy app, now it's totally different. Now I go in after the same type of interaction and I'm like, she's responding, no doubt, because I'm about to send something ridiculous. Guys, what you have to understand is that texting is for chaos. Throw a grenade into the chat and just see what happens and start having fun. You don't get to know someone over text and their deepest, darkest desires and what keeps them up at night and what makes them tick. You can do that in person. But the only way you will get to that in-person date is if you master the text game. And the way to do that is to download the Guy app, link in the description. Guys, I'll see you in the next one. If you have any comments, drop a message and I'll get back to you. Peace out. Bye.